Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, I need some serious prayers. Please sing along with me, gesture at your screen, and smash one of the prayer buttons on your screen. Let's do it again while we wait for a few people to join us. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I don't always have the best of luck. Sometimes I look back at a given unfortunate event and I feel like I was so close. Had I done something just slightly differently, it's kind of like I used to have a friend who had a gambling problem. And he would often relate stories about how close he was to winning a few $1 million, or how because of one mistimed event, he missed out on something. He had a favorite. He had a favorite casino, and he told me about the story about how if he had to leave his favorite machine to go to the bathroom, he would put a sign on the machine saying it was broken because he was so afraid somebody would jump on the machine and win the money that was due. And it's kind of funny. I realized that he was wrong about that, but in my life, it's not uncommon for me to run into situations like that, right? Oh, I should have done this way at my job, or I missed out on a chance to make a new connection because I didn't do this way, or the one time I don't. Part of the reason I give myself heck sometimes. Last year, I keep telling about how it was 115 degrees, and people often ask me why I didn't try to leave the Phoenix area. Got to remember, I was having a hard time making connections with people, and I had the superstition or belief that the one week I was away from Phoenix was when the person I needed to network to would have been around. I had a favorite board game meetup. The truth was that I was digging into the. I was not obeying the first law of holes, right? When you're in a hole, stop digging, right? But I often had this superstition. The one week that I skipped going to that board game meetup, I was going to regret it. And have I skipped events and then regret all the time? There have been times where I missed out on an event and then I realized that somebody else made a connection there, and that was my big fear. I have another funny story that kind of ties into this kind of superstition. I was using a dating app, Bumble, and one day some really cringy profiles showed up. I won't talk too much detail in here because we did see each other a few times. We're not seeing each other anymore. A really cringy profile appeared on Bumble, and it was so cringeworthy that I decided I wanted to take a screenshot of that profile before I swiped left, but I didn't know how to do that. I was in the student union, and one of my former students was there, and I asked him to help me take a screenshot of the profile. When I handed the phone to him for him to do that, he grabbed the phone and he accidentally swiped right on the profile, and it was a match. And when I thought about it, I sent a hello to her, and I couldn't believe she wanted to see me. I really didn't want to see her, but then I thought to myself, I don't want to miss out if that's the one. And so that's the kind of attitude I often go into situations with. I worry I'm going to miss out on the one event, and often, of course, even my student pointed out. The following Monday, I went back to the student union, and my student asked me about and I had to confess to him I did go out with her, and he says, "Are you serious? You told me to take a picture of the screen because you thought how cringeworthy it is," and I explained to him, "Yeah, but you know what? I didn't want to risk that missing out on just even if it was a one in a million." And he pointed out that you realize that on a Saturday night by going out with her, there are a million other things you didn't do. How do you know you didn't miss out on something somewhere else, right? And he was right about that, but it's hard to see it that way when you're in the midst of a situation like that. It really is. That's what leads me to a lot of problems. That's what leads my friend to have such a gambling problem that he's willing to put a sign on his favorite slot machine saying it's broken just so he could step away to go to the bathroom. As silly as it sounds, right? I indulge in that kind of, maybe not with a slot machine, but with my life itself, right? Um, all right, but I often feel unlucky. That's why I often don't go out and explore more because I feel like the one time I give up on something is and that's what causes me to run into these binge attacks with my art projects. The one moment I give up is the one moment, with the Lego project. I give up submitting Lego ideas. It's the one moment that I would have submitted the big one, right? Or with those bismuth crystals, or that's the kind of thinking that causes all sorts of drama in my life. And unfortunately, I tend to have a belief that I'm the unluckiest person in the world, and it's a very destructive feeling, and that's what destructive thought, and that's why I need some prayers to jump out of that. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.